Anyway, when you have a tapered bore bearing, okay, it's signified by it has a K on the inner raceway on one side. A K on there for everybody. This is an eye test examination here. That K needs to face you when you put it on. Right? We've got a sleeve here, and the sleeve is drawn through the bearing to tighten everything up. If I get the threads to work here. And pulling against the side of the bearing, it draws up in there and tightens it on the shaft. Some of the things that we've run into in the past, though, or I can tell you stories of, you can either get it on the shaft too tight, take all the clearance out of the bearing, or you don't get it on there tight enough, and the whole sleeve with the bearing will spin on the shaft. So you got to hit that happy medium that's in between. When you do this, you're going to get a fitting reduction and clearance card. There's two sides on it. The first side will give you what clearance that there needs to be in that bearing as you bought it and took it out of the box. Whether you've got a C2, a normal, a C3, or a C4. The group that was in here before said that most all theirs are C3, except for near the furnace there may be some C4 clearance. And if you look across there, if you're on the proper side there, it's got the C, it says clearances, C2, normal, C3, and C4. If you take a particular size and run it across there, you notice that the bigger that number is at C4 versus the C2, there's more clearance within that bearing. See that? Make sense? Okay. The other side of the chart is it's going to be the recommended reduction in clearance. In other words, how much clearance do you want to take out of that bearing to make sure you have it seated properly. Okay? Now, the bearing I have today for our test rig is a 22-215 W33, which we won't get into that, but then an RC3. So that means it's got a C3 clearance in it. Okay. Anybody know what that diameter of that bore would be from that part number, 22-215? You take the last two digits, the 15, you multiply it times 5. 5 times 15 is hopefully 75. That's what your bore size is. The last two digits on everything, with the exception of specialty part numbers and also your tapered roller bearings, will establish what the bore size is. Make sense? You ever heard that before? Okay. Alright, so we've established what our bore size is here. We've established the fact that we got to utilize this card. That card, though, you could probably set an SKF bearing up with it, but I guarantee if you look at SKF's chart, it may differ ever so slightly. So to protect yourself, whoever's bearing you're putting in, you should use their card. They all have them. SKF has a card, and SK has a card, Timken has a card, we have a card. And for God's sakes, if you take and you install a bearing, you use somebody else's card, and you have a problem with that bearing, well, somebody comes out to look at that bearing and go say what you installed to, and you show them the wrong card, that's admission of guilt right off the bat. Okay? So, these are the steps that you want to go through. Okay? We're going to establish the size and verify the clearance on the part number chart, or the part number in the fitting chart. When we do that, then we want to verify the bearing does have the advertised clearance. Now let me just jump forward here quick. 75, if you look on your clearances, on your side's got your clearances, we're going to be between 65 and 80. Okay? So that's what we're going to verify the clearance for C3 bearing in that row across there from the 65 to 80. Okay? So anyway, we're going to take and we're going to verify that this truly does have that clearance in it. Once we put that on there, we're going to take and we're going to start to turn the nut that goes on there. And we're going to take and bring it up tight. once we put the bearing on there, we're going to check it, see if we still have the clearance that we had on the bench or in my hand. And then from there, we're going to start turning a quarter turn at a time until we take all the clearance out that we need to take out. Now here's where it gets a little bit different, okay? Establish the size and verify the clearance from the bearing part number chart. So we've got our 65 to 80. So I'm supposed to be between 37 and 47. So if I take a 3/1000 feeler and a 1.5 feeler, all right, so I got a 3 and a 1.5. I'm allowed to go up to 4/7, right? So if I take and try and run this between here, why am I checking down at the bottom? Why wouldn't I check up here? Okay, so that's where I create my clearance. Okay, 4.5 goes in. What we can do is try a 5, which would be further beyond that. Again, you've got to use a little bit of, I don't want to say it, common sense, because we're not able to measure it right down to the exact 10th. There's a 5. So that tells me I'm somewhere between 4.5 thousandths and 5 thousandths. So I'm probably sitting up at that high end, 4.7. Make sense? I mean, if we want to be a little safe, we can call 4.5. Okay, so 0.0045. Error to the side of caution, right? Okay, we flip that card over. 65 to 80, and if you notice, I need to take out 14/10ths to 2/1000ths. That's what the decrease is actually going to be. So if I have 45 minus 0.0014, so if I take 14/10ths out of that, I got 33 thousandths. Okay? If I take 0.0045 minus 0.002, I got 2.5. So I got 2.5 to 3 to work with, right? When I'm all said and done. I can go down to, I had to do this earlier, 1.6. So I should be able to take the recommended decrease in this out and still be above my minimum. That track? Am I on track? Okay. So, we've already measured it. Now if I'm going to take it down to 2.5 to 3, I'm probably going to set my first gauge. I could get, say, 4.5 in there. I probably want to set my first gauge, feeler gauge, at 3 thousandths. The minute I'm able to just get it in, or it starts to tighten up, but I can get my 2.5 in, I should be right on. So I'm going to set this on here. Now I've got a lock washer and I've got a lock nut. Do I put the lock washer on now while I'm drawing it down, or do I leave it off? Years ago, I'd have said the same thing. But what can happen is you can pick up material off of this. You're taking and rotating that, and this is staying stationary. You can actually start to pick up some metal off of that, and that metal can get down into the bearing. We can also chew this up, and we make it less strong than it needs to be to keep it from backing off. So basically, the prescribed way is we want to put this on, do our operation, back it off, put the lock nut on there, or lock washer on there, run this back up, and we're going to be looking for to match up with one of these tabs. Maybe put some lube on the threads, some lube on the face so it'll turn better. And one of the things we ran into this morning was sometimes that sleeve will want to rotate on that shaft pretty good. So you need to put something in the slot to hold it in place till it starts to grip. Once it starts to grip, it'll hold itself. But I'm going to take and what we did already, I mentioned to you how much do you turn it at a time, and we'll check quarter. Okay, good. Sorry, I don't mean to be blinded by the shininess. And we're still able to go in there. I don't know how much more I'm going to be able to pull this down. It takes quite a bit, but we'll give it a okay. Well, I tightened that up about as hard as much as I can, and I still got a tight 4 in there. So you can see I've got probably another. I probably brought that around a quarter turn. I got another quarter turn yet to go, maybe another one after. After I get that all fit up, and I get to the number that I want, I'm going to take this nut back off. Then I'm going to put the tab washer on. That tab washer also has a key slot on it. It goes in the keyway here. I'm going to run it back up again tight. I want to check to see if I've got the same clearance in the bearing, which I'm going to try and run somewhere between 2.5 and 3. All right. And with that being said, I'm going to look then to see where I am with my tabs. Okay. When I have this here, what if I'm off a portion of the tab? I'm not quite lined up. What do I do to get it to line up with the tab? Go looser?
Depends on how far off you are.
What do the rest of you think?
Whatever it's closest to, that way.
Actually, you should only tighten further. Okay? The reason we talk about tightening this a quarter turn at a time is because we don't want to overdo it. If I overdo it, and I've done this before, but it's not the right way to do it, I can back it off and let that bearing ease back out a little bit. I'd have to bump it off, start back. But I've also stretched the material. Okay? So I've stretched that bearing, so I really shouldn't use that bearing. So you want to ease up to it and catch it. So if you run with this tab and you're off a little bit, and you need to go to the next tab, think of it this way. We're going a quarter turn at a time. And there's 5 of these tabs for every quarter turn. So for one tab, you're not going to go that much tighter. Okay? If I set my bearing up to 3 thousandths, and I can go as low as 25, and actually I got 16 minimal clearance here, I can still go another tab. Now for you guys that are mathematically inclined, if you take and check what the number of threads of this are on here, divide that into 1, that'll tell you how much every revolution moves it. Okay? If I move a thousandths for every revolution, or even 10 thousandths, if I move it 10 thousandths for every revolution, but I divide 20 into it, that's a half thousandths I'm going to actually move it for one tab. Make sense?